Hello and welcome to the BASN Academy Student News. I'm Lexi Besson.
And I'm Trey Archambault.
Coming up on today's top stories, summer vacation may be shortened as the school year is extended in several states, including Connecticut, more information on the advancement of gun control discussions in Congress, and protests in Russia about Americans adopting Russian children. All that and more today at the BASN Academy Student News.
But first, Lexi, what's going on here at BASN?
Applications for the Big Y Scholarship can still be found in the guidance office. Deadline to hand them in is February 1st. Also due on the 1st is picking up items from the lost and found. If they are not picked up by this time, they will be donated to people in need. Hurry to claim your items.
Moving into national news, did you complain that winter break was way too short when you got ready for your first day back in school? You might get your wish for more holiday time off under a proposal catching on around the country to lengthen the school year. But there's a catch, a much shorter summer vacation. Education Secretary Arne Duncan, a chief proponent of the longer school year, says American students have fallen behind the world academically. Here's Alexa Gagas with more.
In what could be a crucial moment in the Obama administration's efforts to advance the nomination of former Senator Chuck Hagel as Secretary of Defense, he will meet this week with Senator Charles E. Schumer, the most influential Jewish member of the Senate, who is expected to press Mr. Hagel on issues concerning Iran and Israel. Mr. Schumer, Democrat of New York, will be among the first senators to meet with Mr. Hagel since his nomination last week. Mr. Schumer has told aides and other senators that he could be persuaded to support Mr. Hagel depending on the meeting's outcome. Mr. Hagel's nomination has been met with suspicion and even outright hostility among Republicans and Democrats who are strongly allied with Jewish groups.
Gun rights groups on Sunday forecast that bids to ban assault weapons and high-capacity ammunition clips would fail in Congress, as Vice President Joe Biden prepares this week to give President Barack Obama a proposal to curb gun violence. Even some congressional Democrats indicated that the bill to revive the U.S. assault weapons ban that expired in 2004 would have a difficult time winning passage in the Republican-controlled House of Representatives and Democrat-led Senate. An assault weapons standalone ban, or just guns alone, in the political reality of what we have today, will not go anywhere, Democratic Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, himself a gun owner, told CNN program State of the Union.
What should be done with Sandy Hook Elementary School, which has been unused since a mass shooting a month ago? The people of Newtown, Connecticut are considering its fate. 30 days after the town was scarred by tragedy, Newtown residents gathered Sunday to discuss what to do with Sandy Hook Elementary School, where 20 children and 6 adults were killed in a December 14th shooting rampage. More than 300 people attended the discussion in the Newtown High School auditorium, just a few minutes' drive from Sandy Hook High School. For 90 minutes, about 30 residents, mostly parents whose children survived the school shooting, stood at a microphone and expressed varying ideas. Return students to school, renovate or raise it, or build a replacement school elsewhere. Students are now in a temporary school in nearby Monroe, Connecticut. Some parents said their children wanted to go back to Sandy Hook School as soon as possible. Others said their children were too traumatized, including one father who said his son would never return. Speakers also suggested building a center dedicated to peace, a park, a memorial, or a senior citizen center on the Sandy Hook School property. Some speakers said they weren't sure what to do, and several said the families of those who lost someone in the shootings and the teachers at the school should have a major role in the decision.
President Barack Obama is forging ahead on a wide range of plans to overhaul the U.S. immigration system early this year, including a plan to citizenship for illegal immigrants already in the country. The New York Times reported on Sunday. Obama wants to advance the plan even as he faces tough battles with Congress over fiscal issues and gun control laws, and may lay out his ideas during his annual State of the Union address on February 12th, the Times said, citing senior administration officials and lawmakers. The president had made immigration reform a key promise for his second term and said in November after he won the election that he expected a bill would be introduced in Congress shortly after his January inauguration. We are still assessing our options. No decisions have been finalized, and as a result, it would be premature to speculate, a senior administration official told Reuters on Sunday.
Moving into world news, hundreds of thousands of protesters swarmed the Eiffel Tower, rallying against the French bill to legalize gay marriage. Homosexual reproduction was of particular concern to demonstrators. Holding aloft ancient flags and young children, hundreds of thousands of people converged Sunday on the Eiffel Tower to protest the French president's plan to legalize gay marriage and thus allow same-sex couples to adopt and conceive children. The opposition to the president's plan was underscored divisions among the secular but Catholic French, especially more traditional rural areas versus urban areas. But while polls show the majority of French still support legalizing gay marriage, that backing gets more lukewarm when children come into play.
Thousands of people marched through Moscow on Sunday to protest Russia's new law banning Americans from adopting Russian children, a far bigger number than expected and a sign that outrage over the ban has breathed some life into the dispirited anti-Kremlin opposition movement. Shouting, "Shame on the scum," protesters carried posters of President Vladimir Putin and members of Russia's parliament, who overwhelmingly voted for the law last month. Up to 20,000 took part in the demonstration on a frigid gray afternoon. The adoption ban has stoked the anger of the middle class, urban professionals who swelled the protest ranks last summer when more than 100,000 people turned out for rallies to demand free elections and an end to Putin's 12 years in power. Since Putin began his third presidential term in May, the protests have flagged as the opposition leaders have struggled to provide direction and capitalize on the broad discontent.
I'm Lexi Besson.
And I'm Trey Archambault.
That's all for today for Monday, January 14th.
Please join us again tomorrow during lunch for the most reliable and up-to-date news.
And remember that you can watch us online at youtube.com/BA Student News.